This PowerPoint presentation introduces Arcology, a word coined by the late architect Paulo Soleri. It combines the words architecture and ecology. A prototype Arcology, Arcosanti, started in 1970, is being built in central Arizona. Soleri thought a critical mass population of 5,000 residents was needed in the urban experiment, but now there are less than 100 residents. Soleri's architectural images presented in this slideshow are not updated models, but are from his last major design works before his death. However, Arcology can provide a new concept for our much-needed social housing. Metro Phoenix covers 14,487 square miles. Paulo's Arcologies implode the sprawling megalopolis with more efficient designs. With compact, pedestrian-oriented Arcologies, there is less need for hundreds of miles of piping water and sewage, electric wiring, roads, and highways. This picture shows my single-family house with solar panels and a fossil fuel car in the driveway. Is this sustainable? Can we retrofit houses and vehicles for renewable energy in time to reach the climate goals set by the 2015 Paris Accords? As more people in society live alone, the single-family house is isolated from the community and democratic responsibilities, leading to addictive behaviors and an addictive society collectively addicted to fossil fuels. The national housing crisis is also a global climate crisis. In a 2023 study reported that if a multi-day blackout in Phoenix coincide with a heat wave, nearly half of the population would require emergency department care for heat stroke or other heat-related illnesses. End quote. Under these conditions, the researchers estimate that 12,800 people in Phoenix would die. Killer hurricanes and fast-moving destructive forces intensified by human-induced climate change. On the other hand, the collapse of the Colorado River system is a slow-moving climate disaster caused by intense heat and drought. When used as a prefix, arc means to rule. Archetypes are ideal energy forms that live in the noosphere, the thinking layer of Earth. We inherit archetypal patterns from the collective unconscious. For example, when children are asked to draw a home, they draw a house even though they might live in a high-rise apartment complex. Housing archetypes evolved from our relationship with the natural environment. Our global crisis is one where our existing housing archetypes don't support our new climate reality. Let's look at architectural archetypes that rule our built environment. Neolithic people began marking burial sites with standing stones and earth mounds. A lintel connecting two standing stones creates a portal or trilithon. When enclosed, The doorway is the entrance to the aticule or primitive hut, a shelter designed to protect us from natural environments. People coming together through shared purpose and security form the civitas, a social organization on which cities are founded. Arcology combines the archetypes of monument and the aticule to build an ecological city for the people underneath one roof, protecting us from extreme weather events. Arcology is a whole systems design. Think of arcology as a living organism within the superorganism of Gaia, planet Earth. Arcology is designed for artificial intelligence to seamlessly run our infrastructure automatically, like the human body metabolizes food. Bodily functions automatically go on without one being consciously aware of them, just like an AI-run transit system would automatically move us from place to place. With AI running the infrastructure, people have time for democratic governance, art, science, and caregiving responsibilities. It's an all hands on deck, all of society moment to find a way to build a city with zero carbon emissions to keep global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius above the pre-industrial levels. Solari's formula for the arcology paradigm is that when society peaks in complexity, it miniaturizes, reforming itself for its long-term survival. An example of the miniaturization process is the development of computing machines that once filled an entire room and now fit into a cell phone. The urban effect occurs when the acceleration of information and knowledge creates a need for a quantum leap, retrofitting old structures for climate resilience can only go so far. We must become conscious evolutionaries to ethically manage 21st century technologies. As we step into our powers as conscious evolutionaries, using our powers to create simulations of future scenarios, we can understand why building arcologies makes good common sense in our struggle to adapt to abrupt climate change. Building arcologies would be a critical factor in forming a global climate governance. Arcology is a new way of living lightly on the earth so that future generations can experience the beauty of living on earth. Do we, as a species, have the courage to break out of our old dysfunctional patterns? Can we build back a new way, non-violently? The arcology model allows us to see if we can break out of the boxes that have enslaved us, and if we care about future beings enough to build with them in mind. Springtime in the lean linear arcology. This image is the lean linear arcology's energy apron and orchards. Climate scientists predict that some places on Earth will be too hot for life as the baked-in global warming continues to raise global temperatures. Outside agriculture will no longer be an option. Moving agriculture within an arcology might be our only solution to save us from crop failures and mass famine. Arcology liberates inner lives by bringing shape to our collective dreams. Residents take on the role of arconauts, prototyping a new way of being on Earth. Violence, war, corruption, and injustice have been dominant forces on Earth for centuries. With the paradigm shift in architecture, we move into an age of the healing biotope, where we transcend our collective trauma. An urban test site is vital to our planetary security. To complete the Arcology prototype, we need a superpower. Billionaires are proposing building new cities on federal lands. However, we need a democratic model funded by the American people. An urban test site taking a whole-of-government approach to get top research universities involved in its speedy execution is essential for our success. Social scientists can help us experiment with new housing forms, including housing co-ops, community land trust, co-housing, and nonprofit management systems. New legislation called the Home Act reimagines America's housing and banking system to give citizens a public option in social housing. Arcology is a new form of social housing based on egalitarianism. Every bioregion in the United States needs to start such an arcology project. Each design would be different and built for its local weather. But to get the ball rolling, Arizona, the home of the world's first arcology, must create the momentum. The president must declare a climate emergency, activating the National Emergencies Act, giving her special powers to mobilize a World War II type effort to build zero carbon emission arcologies. This monumental task would significantly alter the course of the planet's future, potentially saving countless lives and preserving our environment. Calling on the Defense Production Act, industries are directed by the federally declared mobilization to repurpose parts of the military-industrial complex to build a network of arcologies connected by a transcontinental electric high-speed rail system powered by a publicly owned renewable energy grid. Invoking the Stanford Act to coordinate a national response to the global crisis would organize universities to manifest each sector of the arcology. The arcology model can solve 4 existential threats: global warming, societal breakdown, AI dominance, and nuclear war. By building a climate-adaptive architecture that supports renewed community development, by programming AI to work for humanity instead of programmed for warfare and surveillance, we move away from an economy of hyper-militarism to domestic tranquility through sustainable arcology design. The Fermi paradox asks, where is intelligent life in the universe? Why hasn't there been first contact with beings from other worlds? Astronomers have speculated that maybe there is a cosmic filter system. When intelligent life reaches a point of becoming a space-faring species, with the power to terminate itself, it chooses self-destruction rather than expansion into the cosmos. Could arcologies work as multi-dimensional living time machines? Are they the vehicles we need to become extraterrestrials sailing through the great filter? Biosphere 2 experiment in Oracle, Arizona was a testing ground for building outer space colonies. It is another form of arcology. In Biosphere 2, everything within the closed container had to be recycled. Nothing toxic could be released into the environment. As in heaven, so on earth. One artwork in Solari's Space for Peace series. Orbital habitats. To live sustainably on Earth and in outer space, we need to design a circular economy that is radically different than the extraction economy that has been so detrimental to Earth's life support system. We need to create a global resource accounting system that considers our planetary boundaries and what we must do to not overshoot our resources. Such an ecological city doesn't exist. We must draw on all our collective and cognitive talents and abilities to birth one into existence. Our goal is to know how to do such a tremendous task. Moving all our brain power into constructing arcologies would be a national mega project requiring mass participation. You never change things by fighting the existing reality. To change something, build a new model that makes the existing model obsolete. Buckminster Fuller. To terraform a breathable atmosphere on Mars, we must take the primary life forms with us, the bacteria. Climate scientist James Lovelock called the microbial superorganism Gaia, after the Greek goddess of the earth. Many of the world's religions equate breath with spirit. With the knowledge of Gaia, spiritual singularity unites consciousness so that we can move beyond social divisions that block us from the global cooperation needed to create mega projects such as arcology and a world energy grid. Gaia is the substructure of all religions, belief systems, and philosophies. Gaia breathes life into arcology, all for arcology and arcology for all. So thank you very much for listening to my presentation. I look forward to questions and comments. Thank you.